All right, let's talk about smart money decisions now this afternoon. Sometimes bucking conventional wisdom is actually the best strategy. So knowing when not to pay cash or, pull it out of your savings account and when to borrow money can be kind of an overwhelming choice, especially if you don't have a plan. But here with some practical advice is money and business expert Derrick Kinney. Derrick, thanks so much for being with us again today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jason.
All right, so let's get down into cash versus borrowing here. There's a lot of money advice that's floating around out there that says you should always try to pay with cash or with, money that you have in your savings account. Why do you say, though, that might not always be the best approach?
So many people think that paying cash is the only option, but the reality is how the wealthy actually get wealthy is through what's called OPM, using other people's money. Now keep in mind, I'm not saying put everything on a credit card and hope for the best, but the goal is to be strategic. And if you can use other people's money at a lower interest rate, keep your money and invest it at a higher interest rate, that's how you can make money and also take advantage of opportunities. The key is to manage cash like an investment, not that everything has to be paid for only in cash.
Okay, let's say someone wants to buy something like a car, though. When do you suggest that they use money that they've saved up versus just going out and applying for and taking out a loan?
Yeah, ideally here you want to buy a pre-owned car. That way the depreciation has already been taken off by somebody else and not you, so you save money there. Now, if you can pay cash for a pre-owned car, that's great. But the price of cars these days, even a pre-owned car, 30,000 miles, might run you $30,000, $35,000 depending on what model it is. So a lot of people can't pay cash. So the key is, while you'd like to maybe put some money down, you still want to keep as much cash on hand because if an emergency comes up, you don't want to have to use a credit card, which could be a much higher interest rate than a car loan. So if you're going to buy a car, sometimes it's best to finance it and then set a goal for yourself to pay it off early so you're not paying as much interest as if you keep the note to the very end.
Okay, and you're building that credit all along too. Let's talk about using credit cards now, Derrick. This is what gets a lot of people in trouble. When does it make sense to use a credit card when you have the money set aside that you could just use instead?
Well, keep in mind, I'm a non-cash guy, so I put everything on a credit card. And people say, Derrick, why do you do that? I say, well, first of all, I like to have 30 days of other people's money to then use it for my advantage. But keep in mind, statistically, you're likely to spend 20 to 30% more if you use a credit card because of impulse purchasing, and you simply can't remember if you wrote a check or actually physically paid cash for something. So keep that in mind. But if you want to build up your credit score and build up points for travel and so forth, as long as you're already making the purchase, use the credit card, but make sure you have the money available 30 days from now already in your bank account. That way you win the system and you beat the credit cards at their game.
I do the same thing. I put it all on cards and then pay it off, get those miles and those benefits. What if someone's considering borrowing money, Derrick, to buy a business? So we're going up and up in price here, but let's say that they've put aside some money over time to buy a business. Should they use that money or should they opt to take out a loan for that too?
Keep in mind, I bought 4 businesses in my day and I've not paid cash for any of them. I put the least amount of money down and I borrow it, but keep in mind, you want to be savvy and smart. And here's how to do that. If you're buying what's called a revenue stream, or the business already is making money, and once you buy it, you're now automatically making money, it makes sense to borrow it and take a loan out. Keep in mind, if you wait too long for opportunities, oftentimes someone else gets those opportunities. The way the wealthy truly become wealthy is they're smart about credit, using other people's money to their advantage, and then working like heck to make sure they pay off those loans as quickly as possible.
And then you got that money sitting there too, just in case. Derrick, always great advice and kind of inspiring. 4 businesses. Love it. Thank you very much as always.